It's a new week, it's a new weekly preview. We got a new faction coming up at the end of the week, and it is going to make you want to pull your hair out. It's about madness, so maybe that's what they were going for? We'll find out. And there's nothing too else crazy going on, except for the new glory troop, which is hotness. Let's jump on in and see what's going on in Crystara right now. Kicking things off this week, it's an invasion! We get to destroy some towers with some elves, and elves are generally not great. However, you will go through and get yourself a team. This is the one that I'm planning on running through with personally. What's weird about this week is that this troop is something that we already have, so if you are looking for the Siegebreaker this time around, don't go crazy buying a crap ton of tiers to get it to Mythic like you historically would. Double check that you don't already have a crap ton of copies of this, so you don't already have it Mythic, because it is a repeat. I believe that is the first that I've ever seen of that, so there you go, repeat troop. This weapon is doing a mix based on elf allies. This is fine, nothing crazy. If you want to use it on an Orb-weaver or something, that would be your best bet, because it's boosted by elf allies. And then it does a mix of stuff. So nothing too crazy there. So jump into the invasion, get your new weapon, double check that you already have a crap ton of copies of Sifu, Yuan? However you say that. Praying monk angel dude with cool trident. Make sure you got a ton of copies of him already, and then smash on through with these teams. First team that we've got is going to be this one, which is what I showed before. This is using the Mountain Crusher to get you lots of barriers and lots of mana. We also got more mana coming out of Malcandessa, which is the new troop that's in the Glory Shop this time around. You should totally be getting yourself a Malcandessa because it is empowered and it converts yellows into greens, and then it webs and poisons the weakest person. Sure, that part's fine. But converting yellows into greens in powered style as an elf is super nice. So putting Malcandessa on this team will get even more mana for Yao. The mana that you're converting doesn't really super hurt what your team's trying to do. Yao's going to get you tons of reds. Mountain Crusher's going to get you tons of everything. Malcandessa's going to get you some greens for Yao. So this team should just be mighty dandy. So this would be the first team that I would recommend you run through. However, if you are struggling with some of those troops, you might not have a Yao. This team will also work totally fine. It is taking advantage of the fact that Malcandessa can also turn stuff into greens, which will help Tuliao, which was the glory troop a couple weeks ago, and then that will allow you to get mana for everybody anyway. And then you just use Mang and Sifu to blow everything up from there. So this team should also get it done for you. In the event keys this time around, it is Zul'cari. Zul'cari, the land of a bunch of, vampire webby people. Not the coolest kingdom, but actually it doesn't have the worst troops. So if you're opening up event keys this time around, what you're really gunning for would be an Arachnaean Weaver, which is a pretty solid mythic. It's webbing everybody, it's doing true damage to the last two. If you kill someone, it explodes the board. It's impervious, it's stealthy. It also can summon a web spinner. Arachnaean Weaver is pretty darn solid across the board. I don't love it admittedly as much as some other people do, but a lot of people super love it. So if you're opening up event keys, that's your mythic. Beyond all of that, Web Spinner, super useful, super lethal. Obviously, it's doing triple skull damage to poisoned and webbed people, and it webs people just before it hits them with the skull, so it's basically always doing triple skull damage. Its spellcast has some loopability, but admittedly not the best. But Web Spinner, super high value troop, so if you don't have yourself a Web Spinner, opening event keys would be a super great way to get one. And that's kinda it as far as things you'd care about in the kingdom. So if you need a web spinner, if you need Arachnaean Weaver, if you want them, event keys is your place to be this time around. Soulforge this time around is pretty darn easy, so the only thing in here that's worth considering is Ketris. Ketris, super blammy, super fun. Hardest single target nuke that really exists in the game for the most part, so this is doing a crap ton of splash damage to somebody, boosted by attack, life, and armor on a 2-to-1. So whatever all this adds up to, divide that by 2 and you're getting that much extra damage here. For me, this means Ketris is doing well over 100 damage on one target nuke. It also gains stats every single time you match any red gems, not 4/5s, just matching red in general. So the trick with Ketris is making sure that you put him not in the top slot. You want to try and prevent him from taking any kind of damage and get him mana super duper quick. So Ketris would be the one you want to craft this time around. Everything else is super meh. All of these other mythics are just there for show. Wouldn't really go crazy for them. Weapon-wise, Darkshot is in here, which is a super useful, interesting weapon. So it's creating 5 purple, boosted by webbed on a 3 boost. So this means for every webbed enemy, you're getting an extra 3 purple. So theoretically, this is a crap ton of purple, but it does require webbing a bunch of people, which makes it a little awkward to use. I've created Darkshot teams and they always feel a little underwhelming because the troops that we have access to web people are not usually the best. They're not super loopable per se. So I love the concept of Darkshot, but using Darkshot right now is a little complicated. But it is a super high value craft. As web mechanics get introduced more and more into the game, Darkshot's value is just going to go up and up and up. So I would strongly recommend, if you've got the diamonds to spare, Darkshot would be the one you want to go for. Doomed Potions, of course, is not good because it is one of those mixy types that's just kind of giving mana to people. It's just, you know, it's not very good. So don't spend all them diamonds on some mixed potions here. Doomed Potions, don't do it. Darkshot's the one that you want in the Soul Forge this time around, if any. Which takes us to the spoiler section. On Tuesday, it is going to be the Stone Song Irie. This is a delve that is not super complicated, but somewhat frustrating because they do summon a bunch of stuff. This is the team that you use if you want to smash on through all the way to 500. This team is slightly underwhelming if you're not getting any potions. It does require a little bit of extra help with some mana. However, if you are going all the way up, if you're buying any tiers whatsoever, this will be super duper useful. Otherwise, you should throw together a team that will be a lot faster. If you're just looking to complete the event and get up to level 80, do something else, but this is your level 500 team. On Wednesday, it is Lucky the Cat, little cute cat with a little cute hat. It's like a black mage from Final Fantasy. This cat is super great because you get bonus XP from battles, and it's a, you know, just all around cute looking kitty cat. So that'll be your pet rescue on Wednesday. On Thursday, we get Orb-weaver class event. So everybody's favorite class to hate, the Orb-weaver, you can get yours leveled up today. The main level that you want to get this to is level 40. Obviously, if you're looking to take advantage of the life and death team, this is going to require you getting up to 40 so you can get the stealthy trait. Everything after that is peas and carrots. Obviously, at level 100, it does get this assassinate thing. So if you do get it to 100, it isn't bad at all. However, level 40 is all you need to be the piece of crap that's in your heart that wants to run the life and death defense. The Orb-weaver class event is on Thursday. Teams you could use would be this one, which is going to take advantage of Mountain Crusher with an Arachnaean Weaver and Arachnataur. So basically you're using Arachnataur to do a little bit of true damage to somebody and then using Arachnaean Weaver to finish them off. So this is going to be just fine if you're looking to punch on through with this thing. You will have to hit them a couple times when you get all the way up towards the end of this event. However, this will work totally fine. People are going to be webbed like crazy. You'll have all the barriers you want. Life will be good. Alternatively, you could just do the 3 mana generator in a Mang style. This will also work totally fine. If you don't have all the fix-ins, you should have all these troops since this is the new glory troop. This is a quest reward and this dude is super basic. So use these 3, chuck a Mang on top, and then just loop your way around until you smash everybody up with some skulls. Which brings us to the new delve. So the new delve is Lyrasaza's Lair, and this place is going to be weird and ridiculous. So the map, as you can see up here, it's not the craziest setup. It's basically going to be 3 fights before you get to the boss, which isn't awful, not amazing. It's there. The banner is actually really nice, so +2 yellow, +1 purple will go super nice with a lot of Yellow Day, Purple Day Guild Wars teams, so I'm actually pretty excited about that banner. But then we look at the troops, and Jesus Christ, do we look at these troops. So what you'll notice is that these troops are all ridiculous. Starting with the first one, Chaos Hound, this troop is doing 3 different things, potentially. It's either creating a bunch of skulls, or creating a bunch of Doom Skulls, or summoning a Chaos Hound itself. It's either summoning itself or creating a bunch of skulls. Its traits, nothing really too exciting, but this is going to basically say, I'm making skulls or I'm going to do nothing, assuming you haven't lost anybody. Weird troop. Next up is a troll. It's Crazed Troll. It does whatever trolls do, which is creating a mix of blue and purple in this instance. Very emblematic of this kingdom. Blue and purple happens to be the superstorm that we'll talk about in a second. Trait-wise, nothing really all exciting in here either. It's just a regular old troll. Then we get to Dementicor. Dementicor is doing either draining all of the mana from one person, or stealing a bunch of attack from a person, or silencing a person. So this spell is like a complete crapshoot. You have no idea what's going on. However, this is kind of the only troop in here that is super obviously a frontliner, which is also kind of super annoying. It doesn't have skull reduction, it just has a chance to dodge, so that is not great. And then we get to Lyrasaza herself, which is introducing a brand new mechanic, so we'll look at the trait first. As far as traits go, the third trait in here is conjuring a Madness Storm. So what was revealed to us is that a Madness Storm is a 2-color storm, so imagine how storms today, if it's like a red storm for instance, favors dropping red mana from the sky. This Madness Storm will favor dropping blue and purple from the sky, so you'll see a much more likelihood of seeing those 2 colors versus everything else. So this is pretty powerful in terms of spells. This is conjuring a Madness Storm at the start of every turn, so very similar to like a Stormcaller or a Sunspear or a Scotty, where it's summoning a storm at the start of every turn. This will keep storm control pretty firmly in your corner. That part's cool. As far as what its spell does, it's doing damage to all enemies, or mixing up the board with an extra turn, or creating a bunch of mana. So this is kind of the only troop in here that seems kind of viable. Like when I'm thinking what teams am I going to use to put together for this for a pure faction, using 4 of these troops might not be the worst team on the planet, since 2 of them are mana generation-ish and the other is doing damage to all. So it's probably going to be a mix of using a Crazed Troll with some copies of Lyrasaza, but we'll have to see how this actually goes. But what this really all means is that the 3 main troops in here outside of the troll are all doing super random effects. It's going to be really complicated to feel any kind of safe as you run through this whole thing. That's not making me the happiest man alive, admittedly. But that is going to be your team. I mean, maybe the pure faction strategy here is it wants you to use Dementicor in the top slot, pray that you steal a bunch of attack, and then you use something like Chaos Hound to do all of the skull damage with all the attack that you're stealing. Alternatively, that's what it's trying to get you to do. But that feels super weird as well, so maybe a pure faction team would be Dementicor, Chaos Hound, Crazed Troll, and Lyrasaza, or maybe you're just stacking Chaos Hounds. We'll have to play with it. But it's going to be really awkward and really strange. But I suspect the key is trying to abuse Dementicor's attack steal and then using Chaos Hound with it, or just stacking Lyra's herself. We'll have to see. Not super in love with this design, but I am in love with the banner, and that's a win for all of us. As far as teams you could use to blow up this Lyra's Lair, this is the one that I would plan to use. This is basically taking advantage of High King Irongut, of course, and then we're going to be using Mountain Crusher and a Glaycion and a Possessed King to just get the board moving around a crap ton. But use High King Irongut to devour everyone that you can, and then use Possessed King to transform people that you can't. Alternatively, you could do something like this, where you're going to be using a Mang with 2 Skull Converters and enjoy your life that way. Or you can do basically the same exact thing, only with lower level troops. This is going to be using Hellcat to change a bunch of stuff into red for everybody on your team, and then you use a Mang, and then you got 2 Skull Converters there as well. That's everything going on the PC, mobile, Xbox, PlayStation side of things. Good luck with all that. But Switch folks, it is your turn. You guys get a Tower of Doom event this time around, and it is brown, which means you can use all kinds of fun skull people like Glaycion and Wrath and Mang. Have fun with all that good stuff. If you get your shop up to tier 4, you'll get yourself the Doomed Runestones. These, of course, are not very good. This is the mana giving kind, which is not fun. So get it, make sure you get it, but don't go crazy trying to level it up. Save all of those for your Doomed Club, which is a much better use of your Earthforged scrolls. In the Glory Shop, you guys have access to Bale. Bale is kinda crappy. He's doing scatter damage and not even a lot of it, and then he jumbles the enemy team. Obviously annoying, but not something I'd go nuts trying to do. Get a little bonus blue. but overall I would get yourself a copy or two and move about your life. In the Soul Forge, you guys have nothing super great, but you do have Pharos Ra, of course the soul farming staple of the land. You're getting 150% bonus souls, you cast them a few times and you got yourself max. It's already doing decent damage once you get max souls. So Pharos Ra, if you are struggling to get yourself some souls, is obviously super great. The ideal soul farming team does require 2 of them, however, any of them are still incredibly effective. So if you're struggling with some soul farming, Pharos Ra is out there. A lot of people consider it like top tier must craft. I personally don't think it's super duper required, however, having one certainly doesn't hurt. In the weapon section of the Soul Forge, Blood Drinker is in there, is pretty much the only other weapon that's worth crafting, and this one isn't really worth crafting. If you have access to Mang, that is going to be what you want to use 99.999% of the time. I don't really see an instance where I'd ever use this. It's unupgraded, so you can tell I have never used it. So I wouldn't spend any diamonds trying to get this thing, but it's in there. I would promptly ignore it. And then on Friday, you guys get yourselves a Sunken Fleet. Sunken Fleet is pretty darn cool. Make sure you're opening up portals to get the troops that you want. The delve layout is kinda weird. You can kinda straight shot to the boss. The, room makeups are kinda fine. Nothing crazy from that respect. Troop-wise, however, we get some really good ones. So Mirage Queen is a staple as far as this game is concerned, and it's mainly because of this elementals all gaining 50% mana at the start of every fight. This is incredibly powerful by itself. But then it also curses everyone, which is useful, but then it converts all green to Doom Skulls. So when you guys get access to the Sunken Fleet, please, please, please make sure you're getting yourself at least 1 copy of Mirage Queen. It'll open up the world to you as far as troops are concerned. The other one that is incredibly important is Drowned Sailor. This is an empowered converter, so it starts with full mana and then it converts yellow to blue. It also has this minor chance to deathmark the last 2 people, so that part's kinda nice as well. So those 2 troops, incredibly important as far as this delve is concerned, so please open portals to make sure you get those. Water Elemental is interesting because it stuns everybody. So it does damage to all and then stuns everybody. That's kind of fun. A little bonus blue mana, some spell armor, cool. Crabman, even though he's got the coolest name, obviously, he does look like a little, armored shrimp, I guess. It's kind of weird. But it's a crab, so it's obviously amazing, and it's doing damage to the first and last and then bleeding them. Admittedly, Crabman is kind of crab. But those are the troops that are in this upcoming delve for you guys. So there you have it. New factions for everybody, and that's kinda it. But factions are fun. Switch folks got a lot of lit troops in their faction assault. The PC, mobile, Xbox, PlayStation folks, we'll see. I wish you luck with all that good stuff. That's all I got for you guys this week. Hopefully this will be the week that I get back on track with my stream schedule, as well as making more videos than just this one every week. So pray for me if that's a thing you do. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another future video, another future stream. Have an awesome week. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Headless Chicken asked me to review Teeth, which submit me to the movie Teeth, and now I know that touching a woman when you're not supposed to is bad. It's apparently really bad, like get your dick bit off bad. So if you feel like watching that, Teeth is the movie for you. All the dick chomping action you could possibly ask for. Holy crap, I'm scarred. But there was a part where a crab crawled across a penis, so sure, guess that's a win. Samuel wants to know what my review of peanut butter M&Ms are. They're the goddamn best, dude. Of all the M&M types, all the weird ones, the seasonal ones, the weird flavored ones, screw it. Like the jalapeno ones, forget it. Peanut butter is the #1. It is the best. Peanut butter is the best food on the planet. Peanut butter M&Ms are the best M&Ms on the planet. Get yourself a bag. It's the orangey red one. Get it now.